I wish Mr. Kumar should have explained why is it a serpent-like move to establish the identity of the person who's using a telephone and a true identity, because in today's world, impersonations take place, these instruments or these communications, including mails and all, are so susceptible to misuse and criminality. So for the purpose of preventing the citizens of this country from being subjected to such criminality, if the identification of the person using them is sought to be established, is it a serpent-like move? And if it is so, then I'm proud of it. I'm proud that this government wants that the citizens of this country are not subjected to criminality and manipulations by unscrupulous elements.
Okay.
And this step would go a long way in ensuring that if they do that, they are hauled up. But just one thing I would like to tell my friend Mr. Ajay Kumar. Mr. Ajay Kumar, while you quoted section 32, you forgot to quote section 34 also. Now section 34 deals with misuse or unauthorized access of this information. And do you know what it does? It imposes a penalty of 3 years of imprisonment and 10 lakhs of fine. Now, if these are the safeguards which this act has, all your verbosity is only reflective of a mind which is perpetually in an opposition frame of mind and not looking at citizens and their security.
All right,
I'm not accusing you of being anti-national, but you have to be reflective.
Okay, let me bring in Sanjay Hegde. Sanjay Hegde,
Karanji, before I respond to this, there's a lot of misinformation which is going on in this debate, which is completely erroneous, and I need to bring this out here. First, the interim order of the Supreme Court was in 2015, and subsequent to that, this Aadhaar Act, here is the act. This Aadhaar Act was enacted in 2016, which takes care of a lot of things which are now being talked about here. It specifies that for the purpose of subsidies and government grants,
the Supreme Court order of 2015 was reiterated this morning. The Supreme Court reiterated its position this morning, making it crystal clear that Aadhaar cannot be used for welfare schemes. There are only 5, I think, that they permitted it for in 2015. Beyond that, it cannot be used. They are insisting for welfare purposes, Aadhaar remain voluntary, not mandatory. However, they have permitted Aadhaar to be used for such things as opening up bank accounts and for income tax returns. So the Supreme Court order reiterated today is the same. It hasn't changed. Even the passage of the Aadhaar Act hasn't altered it. So let's leave that aside. Come to what Naresh has said, that he's in favor of Aadhaar, but as an ally of your government, he says, don't put the cart before the horse.
Karanji, I always have a problem with you when you misquote a judgment, when you take a position which is factually incorrect. Now, you are talking about the order today. Can I read out from the order today? It says the Apex Court, however, said the government cannot be stopped from using Aadhaar or the unique identification number in other schemes like opening of bank accounts. It is completely contrary to what you talk here.
I said that,
it is not, you in fact permitted the government to use it for the purpose of identification. I'm not getting into this because we've seen this so often and we've seen how the facts of the cases are contrary to what you speak here. But let me come down to the most substantive point. Have you read section 7? I would draw attention to everybody here on section 7. Now, section 7 of this act itself says that provided that if Aadhaar card is not assigned to an individual, the individual shall be offered alternate and viable means of identification for delivery of subsidy, benefit or services.
You're going off track by what you're saying, and I'm not sure if you're trying to deliberately deflect the conversation away from the point Naresh made, but I must bring you back to the point Naresh made. A point Naresh made is very simple. As an ally and one of the closest of your government, he's part of your government, he said, don't put the cart before the horse. Aadhaar is necessary, but it must be only implemented, leave aside, made mandatory after an effective privacy law is in place. Please respond to that, because we're running out of time.
Sir, the act itself recognizes the need of privacy. There is section 30 installed here. It is personal sensitive information, it says, and that is why it has incorporated a stringent punishment.
All right.
This act itself does that.
All right.
Now,
you say
to
the act already
strengthen any
incorporates
system
privacy. Let
of
me
the
then go back to
government,
Naresh
everybody is free
Gujral.
to suggest.
Naresh Gujral, your ally Mr. Mittal is saying that your demand for an effective, well thought out privacy law is redundant. That's my word, not his, because he claims Section 7 already recognizes the need for privacy, and there is a huge punishment if privacy is breached. Let Naresh Gujral answer that, sir. Please let Naresh Gujral answer that. I can see you're holding up that section. Now,
Sir,
do you,
30,
Mr. Mittal, please let Naresh Gujral answer, sir. Please let Naresh answer. He's your ally. He's not your opponent. He's your ally. Naresh, do you believe Section 7 is sufficient cover for privacy, or do you need more?
Karanji, I am very confused at the debate because right to privacy and Aadhaar are two different things completely. And linking the two is a very strange mindset. Now let me tell you, you still, even if you're not using Aadhaar, all the takeaways in terms of your private information still need your KYC today also. Your phone, when you take a phone, do you not need to identify yourself? Yes, you do. Your bank account, when you open a bank account, are you not supposed to identify yourself? Yes, you do. Your credit card, are you not supposed to identify yourself? Yes, you do. For everything which is linked to surveillance and disclosure of your privacy, you already have a KYC. Aadhaar has nothing to do with it. I don't know. This debate seems to be a very perverse debate.
Okay.
Secondly, Mr. Hegde very conveniently talks about legality just because he's a Supreme Court lawyer does not entitle him to misrepresent facts. Supreme Court, the government went to the Supreme Court when this act was not there. You have to look at an act which has superseded the previous provisions. Now, an act is put in place subsequent to the act.
Okay.
You are now referring to what happened before the act. I mean, it is not fair.
Okay.
Because you are for, because you have people who get more time,
no,
they are not entitled to mislead the nation.
Forgive me. When you say for, one of those four is your ally. When you keep saying for to suggest we're being unfair, one of those four is your ally. And I want to bring in that ally. Can I bring in Naresh Gujral? Naresh Gujral, your ally, Sudhanshu Mittal said, and I believe I'm quoting him correctly, I'm talking to Naresh Gujral, sir. I'm talking to Naresh Gujral. Naresh Gujral, your ally, Sudhanshu Mittal said, and I think I'm quoting Mr. Mittal correctly, what is the connection between Aadhaar and privacy? And then he added, and here I'm absolutely certain I'm quoting him correctly, linking the two is a strange mindset. At another point, he also referred to your position as sparking a perverse debate. Do you have a strange mindset, Mr. Gujral? Are you linking Aadhaar and privacy when there are no links at all between them? That's what your ally has just said.
Sir, I'm not getting into
this. You are trying to make us fight, and I'm not going to be privy to that. What I want to say is, Rajiv Gandhi famously said that only 18 paisa of a rupee reaches the targeted beneficiary of the government schemes, which was a fact. Everything was 15, 18, whatever. It is a fact that this is a great scheme. It's a great vehicle to target the beneficiaries of the the poor, especially of the government social schemes. And to a large extent, wherever it has been used, it has been successful. We had in Punjab a scheme like that, what we call the Atta Dal scheme. And believe you me, I would say the success rate was almost 95 to 98%. So I feel that this is the way forward to cut graft. This is the way forward so the ultimate beneficiaries receive what is intended for them.
What about the need for privacy?
Even the Supreme Court, I'm sure, would be satisfied once the privacy laws are in place, and these two things can move together. You can continue with these schemes and at the same time in a short period bring in the privacy laws, which would satisfy the Supreme Court.
So you do believe, Mr. Gujral, that there is a link between Aadhaar and privacy, and it's not a strange mindset that's trying to link them?
Look, one doesn't have to be Einstein to see through the kind of details that one is provided, you know, the data that which is in the possession of the government. Of 900 million people, their biometrics is with the government. Obviously, if that is tampered with or if it is stolen, it is problematic. That is why I am saying again and again that the sooner we enact very harsh laws so that the citizen is protected, it would be good for the country as well as for the citizens. And at the same time, personally I feel Aadhaar is a very good vehicle to target the poor.
You know, we've had a very honest set of responses from Sudhanshu, Mittal and Naresh Gujarat, who are in the embarrassing position of being allies, holding almost significantly, I won't say polar opposite views, but significantly divergent views. And no doubt I've added a little mischief to the differences to try and exploit it further.
And I want to tell Nareshji, the strange mindset is the mindset of the government which wants to survey on us. He said KYC. In KYC, you can give different data, but there's no single identity linkage. Okay. Why is the Aadhaar a challenge? And what Nareshji correctly said on privacy is that you are making it to link to every activity, credit card, medical bills, income tax, everything else, and then develop a pattern.
All right,
so the question is this KYC and this red herring and all, you can give your driving license, but the linkage. So the linkage, no, Karan, I'll just finish off with that.
You have to finish quickly because you've not answered the question I asked. You've gone on to make a point of your own entirely independent of what I asked. Like a good politician, and every one of my politicians on the panel, I think guilty of that. You have a wonderful facility of using a question to give whatever answer you want, regardless of the fact the answer has no connection to the question that was asked. But that is what makes a politician such a wonderful animal. You hear one thing, you reply another, and you really don't care if it deflects the debate. That's why politicians are such fun. But I want to once again go back to the fact that we had two senior politicians today from the same government differing with each other, and whilst they may be embarrassed by the extent to which I exploited their differences, I also want to applaud them for the honesty with which they were prepared to let their differences be revealed. And I would like to underline that I think it's very rare that politicians are as courageous and honest as that. Thank you very much for that, Naresh Gujarat and Mr. Mittal.